Evolution is a colorful, simple, quick-playing game of light strategy, and today we're going to teach you how to play here on Legendary Tactics. So we're going to take a quick look at how to play Evolution. It's a simple enough game. It has a little bit of strategy and some planning and that sort of thing. But it's a pretty light game overall, and I think you'll get that sense of it. So you'll see this big footprint kind of creature here with a little bird in the middle. That's our species. The number to the left is the population. The number to the right is the body size of the particular species. That comes into play with carnivores. And basically in the middle of the board here, you've got this pond where the food is kept. And you need one food per population in order to keep the species going. If there's not enough food, then the population begins to die off. So that's very simple. Just click on it and it will grab the food that it needs. And we get cards every turn. Now, the goal in the game is to eat the most food. Also to grow our population and also to build adaptations. Those all give us points. So in this case, we're just going to add population here. Now you can see this adaptation is foraging. Take one additional plant food. So this is how you could normally play this into the ability section, and then it means that in one go, this species can grab enough food to support, in this case, 2 population. But the game is asking us to boost our population to 3. And now we have some competition across the way, another species. So we're going to grab some food. They grab some food. We don't have enough food to support our full population. So 2 of our population dies off. And we take that consumed food as points. So now the tutorial is going to say, well, hang on a sec, let's adapt. We're going to add foraging to our species, and that will give us the ability to feed 2 population. And so when there's only 2 food out there, we get to grab them both because we're moving first, and we feed both our population. There's nothing left for our opponent, and so they die out. So the game progresses basically that way. You get cards dealt to you, and you get to play those cards out, and then you eat the food and then do some scoring. So next we'll kind of move on to a bit more of an advanced tutorial here. You can spend cards to actually add new species as well, either to the left or the right of one of your existing species. And in this case, this is a cooperation ability. So every feeding, share 1 food with the creature to your right. So you're going to want to think a little bit about setup. Make sure that your creatures are all set up properly. And so in this case, we're going to want to use this creature to feed first. And they're going to share one of the food over to the other side there. So it's going to help with reducing the other population. They don't have enough food. And so we score that, which is great. And now round 2, we get a few other cards here. Now at the beginning of the round, you actually add food to the watering hole. There's a number of cards here where you see -3, 2, 8, or 7. Those are big numbers to feed a large population. We don't want to feed more than we need, so we'll feed the 2, and that should give us enough to feed our population at least, and we'll see what they put down. So we're going to just take a quick review. So you can play a card to play as a trait or to adapt. You can add a population, or you can add to the blue, which isn't showing yet, but that's the size of your creature, or you can create a new species to either the right or the left of the ones that are already there. So we'll do foraging for that one, and we'll add a population. We've already got cooperation, so we'll add a population, and then we'll make a new species here, which we'll put over here, let's say. Okay, so those are the thing is there's other abilities as well, but just to keep it simple, that is what can happen. So there's 6 food in the middle. So we're going to want to basically pay attention, try and grab as much food as we can to share it. And we've got enough for these 3 guys, which is great. We'll grab 1 more food for this guy. And actually there was enough food for everyone. But we did score more points because we took more food. Once again, you score points for each adaptation, for each population, for each food that you consumed. So we've got 4, so we're going to want to make sure that we've got as much food as possible in the pond just in case. And he's adding some population, doing some evolving. So I'm going to put cooperation on this guy too, and foraging on this guy too. And I think we've got enough to support an additional population here. So we'll do that. And just for fun, we'll hit the undo button and just go back and do that again. And then we end the turn and we'll see how this all breaks out. Time to feed. And we have 5 food in the middle. So this is, but he gets to go first. Not a lot of food, unfortunately. So we're going to forage here. We're going to share 1. Oh, no, we didn't even have 1 to share. So we had to take them for ourselves. So we lost a couple of species there, but that's okay. That's part of the harshness of the environment. Okay, so we've got 2 here. I'm going to drop this one there. I want to make sure I'm not leaving any leftover food for them. So we're going to add a new species there. We're going to put forage there, and we're going to we'll add another population. We'll take the risk. And let's see. We'll end our turn, and hopefully we can always see what. So we have 4 food to feed everyone. So this is going to be tricky. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to take this one. We'll forage. Actually, we get a whole bunch, and we share them. So too bad, so sad. The opponent dies out, which is great for us. We score the 4 food. So as I said, there's kind of I'm glad that the tutorial kind of enforces the rules here on all of this. But it's something where the basic gameplay is pretty straightforward. Now we've got 4 population here, so we want to enforce that. Now the long neck ability is an adaptation. Before feeding begins, receive 1 free plant food. So basically that means that we don't need to fight for as much food for our population, because it's going to be pretty easy to feed them when we put in these adaptations into place, because it means we are going to make sure that we've got our population more or less fed. We only need to grab, in this case, 2 food from the middle. So that's going to be very helpful. And in fact, with the foraging ability, we're already fully fed. So that is a good thing, especially if you put a 0 or negative food card in the middle. You can starve them out. And so we've had some good adaptations. Now it's the end of the round, so we score the population points and the traits, and the final score is revealed as 25-15. So not a hard challenge for sure, but just good to get a sense of the gameplay and that sort of thing. So, and now we're going to look at how carnivores work. And carnivores get to consume other species across the board, or even if you have to, I suppose you could eat your own. So we're going to pick a food here. So we're just going to choose one for our low population there. And we're going to, let's see, we'll add that there, and we will, let's create a new species here, and we will use cooperation. And let's see what happens here. Now, the evolution card is revealed to be a carnivore. And so when it comes time for feeding, we reveal the food cards, but the carnivores aren't interested in the green pellets in the middle. They want to eat another species. And so if we hover our mouse here, they must attack and eat other species, which is what they're going to do now. Now we get the opportunity to feed, which is great, but then the carnivore comes along and eats us. And so, in fact, eats us again. So that gives them a couple of food to keep, 2 of their population alive. And now we need to figure out how to defend ourselves. And that's basically with that blue circle, the body size. So let's put in a food card. He's a carnivore, so basically we can put whatever food we like, because it's all going to be for us at this stage. We're the only herbivores. Now, the only thing we can do to stop him preying on us is we need to have a body size at least the same as the predator. But let's just boost it up just to make sure we got some abilities here, and we can actually boost our population with the other cards here, because we know we got a lot of food in the middle, and so we are bigger than the carnivore, so they cannot attack us. We have 8 food to enjoy, so let's grab a bunch and grab some more. Perfect. And the carnivore dies out. So so it's a good strategy. You're going to want to kind of keep ahead of the carnivores in size, which is kind of an interesting thing. So we're going to select some food here. Now the ability that we have is climbing, and this is another defense that we have against potential carnivores. Is the carnivores must have the climbing ability in order to attack the species. So we know that we can we can create a new species and add climbing to both of them, and that will basically mean that they will be immune to the carnivores that might want to prey on them, unless he happens to get a climbing ability right now. Certainly bigger than us, has a good population, but he cannot catch us because of the fact that we are climbing in trees. So we get 5 food to feed the 4 of us, more than enough. There's a lot of food accumulating there. So we'll grab some food and finish off the food there. Perfect. And the carnivore cannot survive because they can't catch us. We're watching and laughing from the treetops. And we score our food. So there's lots of kind of interesting interactions here that you're gonna see. A lot of card interactions. And now what we can do is we can say, okay, this is a good time. If it's the last turn, then we may want to go on the attack. So we may actually want to become a predator, and or carnivore. Sorry, so we already have the carnivore cards in hand, so we can go bananas as long as we've got some, our food, our body size is big enough, and we have the population. So we need to build. We've already got one of our creatures up to the size where it can attack those creatures, and if we need this one up to that size as well, we're going to need to be oopsie, let me undo that one. I meant to add to the body size of this guy here and this guy here. Now we can chow down on those creatures across the way, but we can no longer eat from the watering hole, so there is a risk there. We need to have enough population that we can consume. So they need to be smaller than us, and you're gonna grab some some food. So we're gonna drag our food across, and interestingly, you get the same amount of food as their body size. So that is a little bit different from the feeding in the middle of the pond there, and we end up wiping out the entire population across the way. So that's how carnivores work. They look like they could be a lot of fun. And going into the last round, and really, I mean, we can even pick 0 here because we, well, yeah, we can pick 0, I think, because we've got the long neck, so we can take the food even without so we can create another species, in other words, here. And we can give him the long neck, so he gets a free food. He's going to, eat just fine. We'll give him climbing just for his own protection. And we will, let's say, grow his body size. Why not? And we're in good shape for this one. Got some... Oh, but he invested in his body size, so... Oh, and he's a predator as well. Interesting. But he cannot climb, so this is going to be an interesting mix here. There's not a lot of food added, but into the pond, but yeah, so this is... We have no targets for our carnivores. So I guess we'll have to eat our own species, because they both have climbing. So let's see, body size 2. Yeah, so I guess we'll have to eat our own. Oh well. Whatever we got to do to survive. This is a harsh, harsh landscape. And that's how things end up. So yeah, it was a bit of a twist there at the end, perhaps. I didn't calculate that properly, but as I said, I'm just learning this game. I just got into it yesterday, and so wanted to share it with you guys. And yeah, so there's, as I said, nothing too complicated here as far as the game goes, but looks kind of interesting. There's a lot of interactions and good potential strategies and tactics to use against each other in this game. And in this, now that we've completed the tutorial, it's going to move us along a map here. But I'm going to end the tutorial here, just because I wanted to give a light overview of how to play, and hopefully you got a sense of the app and the gameplay, and hopefully it's of interest to you, and hope you got some value out of it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm NATO, and this is Legendary Tactics.